Welcome, folks, to another week of Lions League action. It's me, M&J. I haven't been here for the last couple of weeks. I've been a bit ill. I've been busy with other stuff, but I'm back and I'm here to bring you some awesome Counter-Strike. Today, we've got the Royal Logistic Corps versus the Infantry. Best of 3 matchup should be a real exciting one. I believe our first map is... I don't know. Inferno. It's Inferno. Our first map's Inferno. Exciting map, both teams. I don't know. I don't know what to expect. A couple of these teams we've seen in this season are newer teams. I casted a lot last season, and of course I got to know a lot of the teams, a lot of the players, but this season we've got some new teams, some new players, and where I've not had so much to do with this season, I actually don't know too much about these players. So, I think we'll be joining into the match very soon. In fact, we're in now. Straight into... No, we're on Overpass. I assume we'll be getting a match switch. Overpass? You said... Oh my god. Okay, I've been rumbled. I've been rumbled by the producer. He said Inferno. Alright, 100% he said Inferno. But we're on Overpass, and that's our first map. So, that's where we are. Right, we're back, kicking things off with pistol round. We're seeing Kevlar on 4 of the players on the infantry side. Salamander, the one who's opting for that utility. A flash, a smoke, and a HE. The flash has been used early, and of course they're just faced up against 5 Glocks charging with the Kevlar. Salamander throws a nade, falls right back. The nade does minimal damage, but they've got the info. Getting that close to mid means that they can spot out those players. They know exactly where they're headed. They can pull the rotations from B. However, they haven't really done so. And the Logistic Corps are actually charging up toilets. So as they head up over towards A, they're going to only have 2 players to find. Third rotating over now. And Pom Pom landing that first shot onto Faz. Nice one for him to hit. Also, Hero down to very, very low HP. So, an effective 5v3 right now. And the Logistic Corps, well, they're just not aggressing onto this site. They've made their position known. They're not falling back off of it or anything like that. But they're just allowing these rotations to come in from the infantry. Pom Pom on this site. Only has to wide swing to spot out this player, and he has just spotted his leg. Doesn't want to peek it again, though. Plan is very, very disciplined, the infantry, right now. They've still got 2 players on the B site, so this late rotation from the Logistic Corps just isn't really going to do anything unless they find the frag. It's elusive to find the first, but as he gets traded, it leaves it all down to Connor. He gets taken out. Hero, nothing he can do. Actually, a very, very clean pistol round from the infantry, a side that I haven't really seen. I actually know very, very little about this team, so quite nice to see them pull out a round like that. pretty dominating fashion. The only player I know here is Elusive, and I know that he's a very good player. So, that's... Oh no, I'm so confused right now. The teams have just switched over. Right, okay, no, it is... Okay, it's fine, it's fine. They still lost the pistol round. They're still on the T side. Oh, as Pom Pom gets completely mowed down by those Glocks. If these Glocks actually convert this would be insane. They've found 2 kills, 1 traded with a grenade, but they've got the bomb down. They've retrieved themselves a FAMAS to work with. Unfortunately, the second gun they dropped was in no man's land, but they've got a lot of work on their hands to try and hold this one up, especially with Fenrith finding a kill like that. The Glock tapping away, though, needs to deny this. Plant Faz is able to do exactly that. It's Faz and Elusive in a 2 versus 2 right now, and all they need to do is deny this defuse. Elusive needs to find this frag. He finds the first. The defuse is coming in. He's able to get him off of it, at least. Very little time left on this bomb, and as the smoke goes on it, Elusive knows he's won the round. The Infantry have won a full eco. What on earth is that? Not something you see ever in Counter-Strike, to win a full Glock eco like that. And it perhaps shows that the Logistic Corps have got more than they bargained for. Winning that pistol round doesn't necessarily secure you the second when you allow yourself to get overrun by the Glocks like that. And it all just came down to giving up that toilet's control early on. The Glocks charged right up onto the bomb site, and the long player got shot in the back of the head. So, very little that could be done there. As the flash goes over mid, though, it's Hero to try and find this first point of contact. Spamming away, finds himself the first kill. Salamander now out the equation, and it's interesting to see the Logistic Corps, after trading rounds, they've not gone for a force here. They've gone for the full eco. Not bringing anything into this round, really, except Jack. It's all very, very scattered, and not working out for them at all, as every single player falling, and very, very minimal damage being dealt to the Infantry side. Only Hero taking about 30, everyone else untouched. So, a nice kill farming round for Hero. The Infantry has pulled their way ahead, sit 2-1 right now, and, well, again, I have no idea what the Logistic Corps are doing. Davies has bought up fully, and the rest of the team are on somewhat of an eco. They definitely had the money to buy this round because they ecoed in the last, so they were all sitting around 4k. 4.5k on a couple of these players. Instead, they've gone for half the players ecoing, half the players buying. I have no idea. It all seems very messy, and it's not going to work out for them at all, as Connor finds himself that first headshot onto Pom Pom. The refrag does actually come in. Davies doing some work with that MP9, but the man disadvantage already. They've got their work cut out for them if they want to try and hold up this A site. Keeney, very nice headshot onto Salamander, brings things into a 4-on-2. The Infantry right now definitely looking like the better side. But as they start to second guess this A push, they start to rotate round to B. Jack might be able to catch him out on the rotations, especially Connor here. Might even go for this knife kill. This would be huge, but instead goes to the trigger discipline, waiting for a second player to come out. Does level things out ever so slightly, though. Brings it into a 3-on-2, but no element of surprise for him. His position's now known. And Davies is running for the hills. It's looking like he's saving and Jack's going for this. I have no idea. I have no idea. He's the man with the kit as well. This is a very, very doable 2v2. And he's the man with the kit. And he's gone to save. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. Infantry 3-1 up. Is what it is. Very, very doable for the CTs there to pull that one off. But maybe this is a smart decision. Take the AKs into the next round. See what you can do with them there. Hopefully we see a buy up now from these players. Okay, there we go. There we go. Rifles being brought up. And all pom-pom-pom as well. Not a bad buy at all from the Logistic Corps. A lack of utility on a couple of these players, but Shouldn't matter too much. It looks like they will have enough. My only concern is there's no Molotovs or incendiary grenades on that side. Going to mean that taking that control is going to be just that little bit harder. Early engagement at the very start of the round, though, brings things into a 4-on-4. Connector control and the toilets control gained for the infantry, though. So, pretty fair trade, in, well, at least for their sake. Fenris starting to get aggressive again over towards B. This could be very big if he pushes up further, but if he instead chooses to hold for this and wait for some kind of rotation from the infantry, it's unlikely to work. It could happen if they get sort of denied at the door over on A. They might start to try and fall back, head over towards B, but the issue is they'll rotate through connector. If they've got the connector control, there's no way they'll go all the way back through T-spawn and try and rotate through there. So his position is effectively wasted. Now he's going on the flank, but it's far too late. His teammates are falling like flies on the bomb site. Davies has got so much work to do to try and hold this one up. He's already tagged down 2 HP, and that nade will finish him off. 3 versus 2 now. It's Jack and Fenris to try and clutch this one up. Jack does spot one in the back. Nice one tap to finish him off as Fenris finds one too, and it's all on Connor. Connor finds himself the first headshot though. Brings things into a 1-on-1, and he knows the exact location of Fenris, so can play this clutch accordingly. The Molotov is going to completely miss, and it allows Connor, well, you think he'd swing out and deny it. He does exactly that. Perfect clutch from him, or retrieved as well, and the infantry go 4-1 right now. Logistic Corps. They've got the money in the bank, but they're not choosing to invest it. Pom-Pom was quite low, I suppose. Jack, same could be said for him. It's just bizarre to see when you're in a situation like this where the economy is not too great. You tend to all buy so that you have level money. So you all buy down to the sort of 2k mark, you've got the loss bonus, and you can all buy an equal amount in the next round, unless maybe you're the AWPer. But instead, these players are just buying so inconsistently that you've got a player on 4k that's going for a full eco, you've got a player on 3k that's going for like a 5-7 Kevlar, and it's just all very messy and means that the economy is very, very unbalanced. So going into this round, whilst a full buy is on the cards 100%, it means that Pom-Pom, Fenris and Jack are all sitting there with no money left in the bank, whereas Salamander and Davies can buy into the next round if they lose this one. Makes everything very, very uneven and very difficult to manage, but only if you're losing the rounds. And the Logistic Corps looking like they want to try and win this one. Davies opening it up with that first kill. Is actually traded out by Elusive though. A very smart play to go over the barrels and pop himself 2 more. A lot of damage onto the first, but he, well, prematurely goes for the transfer and can't quite connect it. Connor goes for the same and gets taken out by Pom-Pom as well. So things not going all too well for the infantry in this round. They've dealt so much damage, but just really been unable to convert these kills. It leaves Hero last alive, 1v2. Fenris is sitting on 5 HP right now, so if he can find this AWP engagement on Heaven, it's absolutely doable. The issue is Pom-Pom's playing this one quite smart, not going for a peek. Sitting behind the door, playing the contact of his teammate. The issue with that is he's effectively using him as bait. Now goes for the peek, but he goes for the second one. What on earth is that? You can't go for a re-peek in that scenario. Hero will punish you every single day of the week. All he needs to know is where Fenris is right now, and he's got a HE, and he can just take care of him. But Fenris, oh, he does so much damage, actually converts the kill. Really, really unfortunate stuff for the infantry there. That grenade, you could have just predicted that he was in graffiti. Throw it early, you know he's low. When you're in those high-pressure 1v1 situations, though, well, you don't always get concise thought processes like that. Everything sort of gets a little bit hasty. It's going to round number 8, though, the Logistic Corps. I don't know what this is. Obviously, they only saved 1 player in the last, but with the 2 guys with plenty of money, they absolutely should have been able to drop Pom-Pom here. Instead, Pom-Pom and Jack are down to a FAMAS and a 5-7. It really just feels like everyone on this side is just playing for themselves. I see this sometimes in the Lions League, but it's very, very clear today. players on this Logistic Corp side, they're just playing for themselves. The trades are very rarely coming in. You see players kind of baiting each other, like in that clutch situation. It's very, very bizarre. Either way, though, Jack finding actually a second. The aggression really paying off for him. He is down to 46 HP. His possession should be known now, and Connor, he is going to punish him for it. Actually very foolish from Jack to push further. He found the 2 kills. He had the man advantage. He could have fallen right back, rotated round and helped his teammates on the site. Instead, makes loads of noise and continues to try and push behind as if they're not going to expect him to be there. It's pretty crazy. Pom-Pom, though, does level things back out into a 2-on-2. Actually lands another fantastic headshot to bring it into a 2-on-1. Finds himself an AK in the process. And, well, elusive, whilst he lands the complete crazy flick, I don't understand why he wasn't expecting him to be on truck. He was truck the whole time, he killed 2 of your teammates, and you just completely neglected truck. Got your tag down really low, and means you cannot win that 1 versus 1 engagement. Real big shame. As the infantry just with these pistols and Mac 10 trying to charge into the B site. They've had success so far. Connor and Elusive finding the first 2. Only losing 1 man in the process, and that nade, oh, I thought that would finish off Fenris. Doesn't quite do so. Of course, Fenris, one of the casters, last time I casted the Lions League that I worked with. Exciting to see him playing, but well, whilst he's definitely putting up numbers, sitting 6-6 right now, couldn't do so in this round. The infantry take the round quite swiftly, sit 6-3 right now, and I feel like they should be further ahead than this. This game feels a lot more one-sided than it looks. A lot of these rounds that they've lost have either come down to a 1 versus 1 or a really stupid situation that could have been avoided. Either way, though, they come into this one full guns blazing. They're just against the 5-7s of the CT side. This time the economy's looking a little bit more stable. They're all sitting around the same number. As long as that stays that way, they'll be able to buy together in the future rounds. Fenris actually got himself a really nice angle, and as he avoids the flash, he should be able to get this first kill. It was a little bit messy, but he did come out on top at least. Got the info on the players over towards Monster as well, and he should be able to relay this to his teammates. No rotations being called as of yet, and that is actually quite smart, because it is a fake. The bomb is heading over towards A long. Real lack of firepower attached to the bomb right there. They're actually allowing themselves to be pulled apart by these 5-7s just by not playing the numbers game. They're playing all individually, pushing them 1 by 1. They had to find those 2 frags on A, and they've done exactly that. The bomb now can go down, and it's Davies and Pom-Pom to rotate in and try and take this 3-on-2. They are going to go for this one, but what worries me is this lack of Kevlar. You let 1 bullet touch you, and, well, your crosshair goes sky high as Connor finds the first spot to beat of the second, and cleans things up, no problem at all. The infantry now sits 7-3. The Logistic Corps, they should have money to buy into this one. Be very surprised if they don't. Come on, buy up. There we go. Don't know why Jack's bought a FAMAS there. I suppose for the full utility. Actually, no, that's not the worst move in the world. There's a lack of utility on the rest of the players, so he's sacrificed himself, gone down to the FAMAS to make sure he can have the full util. I actually quite like that. Not as much as I like that early pick from Pom-Pom, though. Nice initiative there for him to get aggressive in mid, find that first pick, give his team the man advantage. Elusive, hungry for the same right now. This AWP, really looking for something. Actually, Elusive, oh, he just misses out on timing. Jack, this aggression has been working out for him quite well over towards B. The issue he has with it is he gets over-aggressive. I thought he might get punished by Keeney there, but Fenris Gets right up into connector, finds that kill as well, leaves it all down to Faz in a 5v1. He does find himself the first. And his spidey senses kicking in, telling him there's one behind him. He would be wrong though. Well, in fact, he wouldn't be wrong. There is Fenris behind, but he is miles behind. There's plenty of people to worry about before him. He slowly but surely clears out these angles. Heading into toilets right now, and actually the logistic corps aren't really reading this one very well. They seem to be going everywhere but where Faz is. Salamander though does take him out on the cross, and well, the logistic corps win a round that I wasn't necessarily expecting them to take. They put themselves onto 4, and they put themselves in a good position as well to make this a relatively even half. Of course, the infantry, they are 3 ahead, so there is a gap to close. But if they can pull back a couple here, it could definitely work. Again, what I was saying before though about the logistic corps, Davey's sitting on a FAMAS right now, and he's got 3 teammates on his side that could have dropped him. It's crazy. I have no idea. I have no idea why, but that lack of firepower is definitely going to be a problem in this retake. If it's a retake they even go for right now, they've lost 3 men early on. It's a 5v2. It's actually a foolish one to run into. Pom Pom and Davies, though, do actually find themselves the kills needed. Trade comes in, leaves it all down to Pom Pom. A 3-on-1 and this wicked camera angle. Shout out to our observer today, Ollivander, a new one. Someone that we haven't seen before. And are we about to see a knife kill? No, we are not. They are going to go and finish him off with the Glock. The infantry do put themselves onto 8. As I was saying though, Ollivander, new observer. That doesn't mean Randall's not going to be doing future stuff. He's just busy today, so we got someone else in, and you might see him in future weeks. I'll have to see. For now, though, he's the man controlling the cameras. Good Molotov in connector. Gives Fenris a little bit of leg room to work with, but the issue is he peeks into a long-range angle with a UMP. Not the... definitely not the smartest of plays. It does cost him his life. Gives the infantry that man advantage, and well, if you dig real deep into the statistics of Counter-Strike, you look at, I mean, the famous one's the old Fnatic stat, but there's been teams in recent years that have bumped that statistic even further. Of once you get that first man advantage in a round, you end up converting it about 70 to 75% of the time. So getting that first engagement is absolutely huge, but what's even more important is that as you then aggress further, you're playing together and you're making sure you get these trades. Because the only reason that statistic works is because the trades come in, and as long as you've got that man advantage, as long as you play the trading game, you always come out on top. And that's not the case right now. 2 kills coming in early for Pom Pom, but as Keeney trades him out, he's actually played the trading game absolutely perfectly. Still the man advantage. 3 versus 2. Jack dealing a lot of damage onto the player on site. He needs to convert this kill onto Keen. He does exactly that. Does more onto the player on site. He's done so much work, but he's run out of ammo and his head's been ripped clean off. Elusive sitting on 1 HP right now with this AWP. He knows exactly where Salamander is, and he must get taken out here. Elusive comes out on top, and the infantry sit 9-4 as we go into round number 14. Very, very dominant scoreline for the infantry side. Just down to the pistols now. They want to save the money for the last round. A bit of Kevlar here and there, just trying to even out that economy, so they all sit around 2k. Absolutely fair enough, but the investment just doesn't pay off for them at all. 2 players dying early on B. Connor just cleaning things up right now. And Elusive chiming in with 1. Leaves Fenris all alone. Swings out wide with the 5-7. Tapping away, he can't do anything. The infantry put themselves onto double digits in the first map. 10-4 right now. We've seen some pretty nice stuff from them so far, in fact. Double AWP setup being pulled out for the Logistic Corps side. Oof. Very nice shot from Pom Pom to get Connor on the cross there. Oh my goodness, and the no-scope as well onto Faz. If he can get this third, it would be huge. But he can't quite convert it, gets traded out. Hero's doing some damage onto his teammate, but it's only small. And they come in though, they should be able to convert this. Really whiffed the spray though, and so does Hero. Oh my goodness, what is going on? Davies somehow capitalizes on the fact that two players have completely whiffed there. Finds himself 2 kills, and it leaves Elusive all alone. A 1v4. Not the easiest of rounds to clutch up, but if you said to me who would I want last alive in this situation, my money would be on Elusive all day long. Absolutely capable of making this one work. He swaps out to the AK, definitely the smarter choice in this situation. So he heads further up long. Actually goes for the jump across. The Molotov goes in. It's all just a big bamboozle, but well, he's hoping that that utility is going to draw a rotation for the CPs, but they're not going to. They actually just hold short. They play that situation quite well. And all things considered, don't end up having the worst of halves. 10-5 to the Infantry on overpass. It's not the most dominant T side, but definitely an advantage. As we go into the second half, it's very, very important that the Logistic Corps win pissed around. And if they can't convert that, I think they're really going to struggle coming into the later rounds. But we will just have to see. Either way, Logistic Corps now actually on the T side. Don't be fooled by the scoreboard. Not the scoreboard, the bit at the top, the HUD. That's what it's called. Very, very important that they take this pistol round as well. They want a chance of clawing back in this one. 2 players on this Infantry side without Kevlar though. He's quite ambitious. Instead they opt for the flashes and the kit. B250 sitting on Hero as well, but as Baz gets dinked up early on. Well, damage being dealt to both sides. It's an even trade to kick things off though. Actually, as the Infantry players are falling like flies, it leaves Connor all alone. A 1v4 does bring it into a 1-on-3. Spotted out the others. It's definitely a doable one for him. He's really proved his talent this game, but he needs to convert these headshots, and as he can't quite connect them, switches out to the P250. There's a little bit more ammo in it, but he can't convert it. Salamander finds the headshot. And they do take the pistol round. They've done exactly what was needed to keep this one competitive. And as we go into round number 17, it's looking like we're going to see a full eco from this CT side. It's only Faz with a HE and a flash. I'm not 100% sure what he plans to get done with that, but if they all group up together, they could make something work. It's looking like that's going to be the case. So we're going to head over towards B. They're all making noise, though, is the issue, and Jack in Connector is going to hear all of this, relay all of that information, and probably find himself a couple of cheeky frags with that SMG in the meantime, too. Gives them that man advantage, and they're able to head right over towards the A site right now. Hero, he had such a good flank, but for some reason he stepped, and it's thrown it away for him. He gets taken out too. They're just being completely mowed down now, and the issue with it is that against these SMGs, they're allowing them to farm. Jack sitting on 2.5k with that the Mac 10 right now. Every time he finds himself a kill, he gets a nice little $600 bonus. That reign of terror is going to end though, as Faz lands a couple of nice headshots with that USP. They're not allowed to hold more than that though, surely. Faz gets taken out here. The Logistic Corps put themselves onto 7, keep 4 players alive, get the bomb plant. It's going to work wonders for their economy. Plenty of money for them now in the bank. but the Infantry have got all of the money sitting there to buy into this one. I am surprised they didn't force last round. It's kind of Counter-Strike meta nowadays to go for that force buy in the second if you lose pistol. That's relatively standard now. But you can't say it was the wrong call, because now round number 18, they've got the money, they can contest it, they had the rounds to play with to allow their opponents to pull back one more. They just need to make sure they win this buy round, and Keeney finding that early information means they know there's a player short. They could have boosted over there, instead it's Elusive to open things up onto Jack. First kill go in their favour. Timing for Elusive not though, he actually falls right back just before the connector player comes out. Maybe a blessing in disguise, as he's only got FAMAS to work with, probably wouldn't have won that aim duel, and Salamander deals a huge amount of damage, and it takes 2 infantry players to, well, take him out. Gives them that 2-man advantage, but a lot of damage been dealt on 2 of these players here. It's Connor and Faz both sitting low. So this is absolutely doable for the Logistic Corp if they play their cards right. The issue is that Fenris has been done dirty by the boost. He has absolutely no idea where that player's come from, didn't react to that one at all. Now a 5v2. I don't think Pom Pom and Davies have got a whole lot left in the tank here to make this one work, especially when the crossfires are set up like this. It's Hero and Elusive to find Davies, and it's Pom Pom last alive. The bomb is on his back, and he's going to head over towards B, but well, the issue is the door's not open, and he's not got time to wrap all the way around, despite the fact that that's looking like he maybe wants to do that. Maybe he just goes for the save here. That's exactly what he does. Not the worst call in the world to go for this save, but again, I'm not quite sure how it's happened. I think it might be to do with the SMGs getting the kills in the last round. But if you look at the economy right now, Pom Pom sitting on 4.5k, Salamander sitting on 4,100. No one else had any money. So with no loss bonus, they've really not got the money to buy into this one. It's looking like they are going to anyway. A couple of weapons can be dropped. Pom Pom's going to do exactly that. Salamander could do that, but he hasn't. Instead opted for the Kevlar and the full util. Very shaky buy from the Logistic Corps here. They should get taken out. It's the Infantry taking a lot of control early on, and Connor gets punished for it. Fenris finding that first frag. Keeney does find a refrag, but as Davies trades it, I mean, this is just going very back and forth right now. We end up in a 3-on-3. The Logistic Corps not really sure what their plan was here. They sort of started heading over towards B, but it wasn't really a B commitment. There was no utility, there was no trade or anything. They kind of just went in one by one, and well, that's not worked out for them at all. Hero, very nice play from him to throw that flash and go for those frags. It leaves Salamander last alive, 1v3. I can't imagine there's a whole lot he can do here. It's a very doable clutch, but with the bomb down, makes it a whole lot harder for him. 45 seconds on the clock. Hero will be watching that bomb with hawk eyes, but Salamander, a very nice headshot. Actually takes things to a one-on-one against all odds. He goes for the very, very long rotation round, but Elusive should be able to read it in about 10 seconds or so. In fact, he reads it now. Smart player. I said this earlier, Elusive, very, very smart player. Salamander has got a choice here to go through the door and go back to B, which would be super smart. He does do exactly that. I'm not sure if the sound cue would have been heard from Elusive, but if it wasn't, that flash definitely will. Quite a foolish flashbang to throw, because had he not thrown it, his position wouldn't have been given away, and he's decided to plant out in the open for some reason. And a clutch that was looking really good and really smart, he just threw away at the end. A couple of really stupid mistakes, and well, the Infantry capitalise on it. Of course, only keeping one player alive, but as long as they convert the round, that's all that's really important here. They're 4 away from that magic number 16, and they're just looking to convert this one. Wow, an absolute eco shutdown from the Infantry puts them on to 13, and the Logistic Corps. In that kind of scenario, I get it. If they can save that money, come into this one with the full AKs, try and pull some back here, but you're really somewhat on the wire when your teammate, when your opposition is so close to closing it out. To just go for a throwaway round like that to allow them to get to 13 can be very, very dangerous. The flash from Hero not really working out for Elusive as he gets taken out for it. Actually pushes through the smoke before the flashbang pops, and then when the flash pops, it just flashes him. It's very, very poorly coordinated play. Either way, though, Hero able to do a fair amount of damage onto Jack. That nade, I thought it'd do a little bit of further damage. Doesn't do that, unfortunately for him, though. Four of the 5 T players heading up over towards A with a minute left on the clock. Fenris holding for this connector in case anyone tries to get through. No one actually going for it, and as the smokes and nades go over, this is going to be their cue to push in. Hero with this M4 needs to shut this one down, and he's doing a fantastic job of it. Finds 2. Does get traded out by Davis. It needs to be the bomb denial here. Connor's able to do that, and leaves a very doable clutch for Keeney to do right now. The nade, oof. I thought it'd finish off Fenris there, but unfortunately just lands on the other side of the boxes. Should have spotted the shadow. Doesn't look like he has, though. That does actually allow Fenris to get back to long. Gives him a little bit of a lifeline to work with, but as Keeney takes out his teammate, now a 1 versus 1. Both players incredibly low on HP. As the smoke goes on the bomb, the flash actually flashes himself and not his opponent. Not really the outcome you want. And the smoke completely misses the bomb too. So Fenris should be able to win this one, I'd like to think, and he's able to do exactly that. That was horribly played from Keeney in that 1 versus 1 situation. And the Royal Logistic Corps are able to capitalise on that one. Bring themselves to within 5. As we go into round number 22. Pom Pom with the scout gets taken out early. The issue is Elusive goes for a really courageous peek, but a foolish peek because he's miles away. There's no one to flash him out. There's no teammate to support him. What his teammates are doing, though, is absolutely mopping the floor right now with their opponents, cleaning things up, making sure that Elusive didn't die in vain as Fenris whiffs a spray. And Hero takes him out. The Infantry get themselves onto 14. 1 away from match point now. No real money in the bank for the Logistic Corps to work with here as well. Fenris actually had double everyone else's money. He's going to buy himself a Mac 10. They've invested into this one. Okay. Fair enough. Don't really want to get your opponents onto match point and be trying to play for the overtime when you're sitting on 8 rounds. Instead, try and get it done now. Force up. The issue is they'll have to do the same in the next if they can't convert it. Fenris does find the first kill though. Gives him an M4 to work with, and a teammate will actually be able to go into connector and take the Mac 10 as they've got control of it. But as Jack gets taken out, things come back into a 4-on-4. Hero's got the sound cue as well of the players walking up from toilets, but he can't convert that one. Can relay the info though. Elusive able to find 1 before he's traded. Leaves Connor and Keeney in a very doable 3v2, especially as Pom Pom's just been spotted by Dumpster with the bomb. I don't know why he's pushed up that aggressive with the bomb in his hand. Means that it doesn't go down until very late. Still not gone down. Come on, get the bomb down. Why is he still fighting? You had a man advantage and the site control. And by wasting so much time, he's actually given his opposition a chance to win that round. Luckily for him, he converts it. But in that scenario, you get onto the site, you clear the angles, and especially with the man advantage, you get that bomb down. Every second that he spent continuing to fight was a second that he was allowing the infantry more and more chance to convert the round. Now round number 24, the tables have turned ever so slightly. The Logistic Corps now the ones with the rifles, just the pistols on the infantry side, and that nade doing a huge amount of damage, but it doesn't matter. Pom Pom somehow can't convert it. Faz does find himself that kill with the Deagle, but well, they both end up falling in due time. 4 versus 2 now for the Logistic Corps to work with as they head over towards the A site. The rotation's coming in as well. Is the bomb really going down connector? They're actually... Okay, this is all an elaborate fake. They're hiding back over to B, and as they take out Elusive, they will be able to head down. Issue is, even I'm confused right now. They've gone back to A. They're heading back over to A. This was bizarre. It's kind of worked, but it's only really worked so against pistols. Not 100% sure what this was, and all it really does is isolate a couple of these players and mean that actually these Deagles could prevail as Keeney swapped out Femrith. Oh, he just can't quite do it. A very doable clutch situation there, when it really shouldn't have been. The infantry now should really buy into this round. I think they might not. Oh my goodness, they're not buying into this. Just buying down to sort of 2-3k mark, make sure they have loads of money in the next for the full investment. It is fair enough, they wouldn't have had a lot of utility to play with in this one, but it just means that it's somewhat another one of those throwaway rounds. End up being very, very costly later in the game. Femrith can't quite convert that spray transfer, but Pom Pom finds it for him anyway. Gives them a 2-man advantage, a very clear pathway onto the A site as well. What they've got to be wary of is this flank coming in. Connor with this Deagle is being watched by Salamander, but it's been spotted out, and they do convert the kill. Connor, of course, does fall, though. It leaves it all down to Keeney and Elusive. 4 versus 2, very, very doable, especially as Elusive walked straight through the smoke and found himself one. Keeney brings it into a 2 versus 1 right now. Both of his opponents are low. This is very, very clutchable. Can't quite convert that first one, but does even more damage. Both in the red right now. A combined HP of 26. This is so, so doable for Keeney. The issue is, his time is of the essence as he's got no kit, but he converts the first and the second just in time. Keeney gets on the bomb, and the infantry put themselves onto 15. Another one of those rounds that they shouldn't be able to win, and the Logistic Corps, well, they just don't play that late round situation very well at all. It ends up being real costly for them. Match point now for the infantry. 5 chances for them to close it out. This has become very, very doable for them. He comes in early from Faz. Does minimal damage. Looking like they're going to go for some kind of B-split right now. Actually, Davy's doing a lot of damage through that wall onto Keeney. An ambitious boost as Femrith creeping around as well. Might be able to convert this one onto Hero. He can do exactly that. Hero really started to neglect the fact that actually someone could walk up connector as that smoke started to dissipate. Absolutely cost him his life, and the Raw Logistic Corps should not lose this round at all right now. They've got a 2-man advantage. Keeney's low HP. If they let this one slip, it will be absolutely dire. The boost comes in. For now, they're actually not spotting it at all. Can't find themselves any kills off it though, and as Keeney falls, well, actually Connor and Elusive doing the work. 3 versus 2 now. Elusive should be able to spot out Pom Pom, but Pom Pom's too quick on that orb to find it. Connor trades it out. 2 versus 1 for him to work with. He's not a stranger to the clutches, especially as he's just spotted the leg of Salamander. Makes this one very, very doable. Salamander's continuing to fight. Obviously jiggling for the info right here, and again, Connor, no kit? I mean, he's sitting on 2k right now. Why are these players not buying kits? There's so many things that both sides are making these huge mistakes, and they're just kind of capitalizing on them, and both teams are trading rounds back and forth. This game really shouldn't be as close as it is, but the infantry, whilst they've been stronger on the frags, they've just been making some huge, huge mistakes in some of these situations. The Logistic Corp have, well, been doing exactly the same. As the nades rain over, does a little bit of damage onto Faz, not $600 worth though. Fenris finds the first onto Hero, gives them a man advantage, gives them something to work with. Should get a second here as well. Was Connor kind of just peeking into Monster with the back turn, not really too sure what he's doing there. Gives Davies loads of room to work with, allows the bomb to rotate in as well. Faz should be able to find a free kill here with this USP, just needs to make sure he gets the lineup perfect. There we go. Dink comes through, pom-pom down, spots the player on long as well, or at least hears him. So should be able to convert that one. Can't do so though, and it leaves it all down to Elusive. 1 versus 4, Deagle in hand. Well, his position's known, he's going to have to re-aggress from elsewhere, but what on earth? They're not even watching Monster. Elusive could have very easily found himself another kill there. Got a little bit trigger happy, shot too soon, gave away his position. This is going to be the buy round now, though, for the Infantry. Faz, for some reason, hasn't got the money to buy a rifle, so he's just down to a Deagle while the rest of his team have got the weapons. He could have bought himself an SMG, but chose not to. Elusive could have bought him a FAMAS, but chose not to. And as they lose the man advantage early on, Faz actually proving why he's maybe only bought the Deagle. I don't know. Either way. Kills traded out. The Logistic Corps sitting in a 4v3 right now. And, well, the early rotation comes in for the Infantry side. They're really banking on this being A right now. And actually, the Logistic Corps have played it rather well. They've taken control of everywhere. They've got B short. They've got long. They're just playing this one real slow and methodical. They are up close to A, and it's looking like that is where they're going to end up. But Keeney and Elusive, a hell of a job on their hands to convert this one. The issue is the Logistic Corps really should have rotated over towards B there. They knew they had the full control. And instead commit to A. It almost ends up costing them. It is now Elusive in a 2-on-1 to close this one out for his team. If he doesn't do so, they've still got a few more chances at it. But Jack, actually not a bad angle. Does manage to close out the 13th. Now 2 away from taking this to overtime, and with no money in the bank for the Infantry. It's definitely smart to go for the eco here. They just got to make sure they don't over-invest. They've done that somewhat well. The issue is you either force buy as a unit or you eco as a unit. There's no real point here in having Faz on a Deagle armor, and with the head armor as well, which makes no sense whatsoever. And Elusive with a scout, and then the rest of your teammates have just got nothing. Very, very unlikely that they'll be able to really do anything with this. But if they can find themselves a couple of kills, do some economical damage, it'll definitely end up hurting the Logistic Corps side. Elusive does find the first with that scout, though. If that AK was retrievable, it'd be absolutely massive, but for now it's not. Hero really has to work for his meal. Needs to find a kill with this P250 to get himself an AK. Elusive finds himself another with that scout as well, but what on earth are they doing? They've got a 2-man advantage, and Faz is just walking into toilets like it's empty? I don't know. Very, very bizarre situation, but it doesn't matter all too much. They've got the bomb down. There's an AK and a scout watching it. The P250 just playing the info on the A site. Salamander needs to convert this kill, and as Elusive finds him, it's all on Fenris in a 1v3 to try and keep his team in the first map. Oh. A funky bit of lag. I think that might mean that the Infantry have taken it. I don't know. This is very anticlimactic. I think Fenris probably loses this clutch. And I think the Infantry probably take the game. We're back to the main menu. Get to see Alex's nice little gone over too. Ah, we're going back to me. Hello team. Right, I'm back. I can only assume that the Infantry took that one 16-13. If they did, it was an alright game. There was a lot of mistakes. I feel like it shouldn't have been as close as it was, but the Logistic Corps did well to keep it competitive, and well, I'm excited to see the second game, because if the Logistic Corps can do what they did in the last, and well, the Infantry continue to make a few more of those mistakes, it could definitely work. They could bring it back to 1-1, and we could have a really exciting best of 3 on our hands. But that is all in a few minutes time. We're going to go for a short break first, and we'll be right back with you with map number 2. What's up, gamer guys and gamer girls? We're back. It's map number 2. the Royal Logistic Corps, or as I've just learned, RLC we can call them. A little bit like Rocket League, but it's not, I can assure you. Facing up against the Infantry. We're on Inferno now. Change of scenery. Nice little Italian town. Unfortunately, it's riddled with terrorists, and the RLC, in fact, no, the Infantry, as the teams have just swapped, have to deal with it. Don't want those pesky terrorists blowing up this quaint little Italian town. So, minute 10 on the clock. It's Femris to find the first onto Elusive. It's looking like the RLC are heading over towards A as Hero finds himself one back though. Keeney doing the same, and Salamander, he can't convert it. He has to fall back and reload, and Connor should be able to capitalise here as long as he can aim. It's Keeney to help him out from the back lines. Leaves Jack last alive, a 1v3. He's sitting in the graveyard area. Could have come out on top there, but Connor does take him out. Puts the Infantry one ahead as they sit 1-0 right now. The defuse comes in 2, 3 players alive. Not a bad pistol round, all things considered. And with Keeney finding himself 3 kills, actually racked up about $1,000. Means he's got plenty of money going into round number 2. He can really splash out, buy himself a grenade or something, really treat himself. What's he going to go for? An M4. Ooh. He's feeling real confident. So is Elusive. The scout from Faz early on can't quite do the damage. They are faced up against the Force Spy though, and I like to see this from the RLC. They got the bomb plant, they've got money to work with. Let's go for the Force Spy round. Let's try and contest this one early on, not just give up these next couple of rounds. Early damage being dealt though. Davies already sitting on 9 HP, Pom-Pom on 41. They need to convert a couple of these kills or take some control, because right now they're just stacked up in the apartments. Not really got anything to play with right now. Hero's got a deep angle on Banana, but with that MP9, it's not going to do a whole lot. It's looking like RLT are actually going to push out onto this A-bomb site. So much damage has been dealt onto Femris and Davis, and the MP9's cleaning things up. As Connor finds himself one more. Davis all alone in pit. He has found himself an M4 for his troubles, but and he gets taken right out. Does that M4 get retrieved? Okay, I think it did. Faz got it just in time. Brings that into round number 3. A full eco now for the RLC. Kevlar on a couple of these players. That's about it. That's all they really have to work with here. A couple of B250s. I imagine they maybe get a couple of kills if they try and go for this fast B play, but the issue is no smokes for that Molotov, and well, whilst they sit behind it, those nades can do a huge amount of damage. Pom-Pom and Jack lucky to be alive at this point, and Faz coming in from Mexico should be able to get himself at least 1 kill here. I'm not sure what that jump was. I think that was an accidental spacebar click. Maybe if he used his scroll wheel to jump, that's also one of those ones you spam in a panic situation. Either way, he comes out on top with 2 frags. It's Davies and Jack now last alive to try and do something. Jack might have the element of surprise, but he's been spotted out. Faz capitalises on it, and it's all on Davis with his P250. His aim seems to be a little bit all over the place, but he does manage to land the headshot onto Faz. Can't do any more than that though. Hero finishes him off. The Infantry keep 4 players alive, actually the important players as well, the ones with the rifles. So they only really expended an MP9 in that situation, and the MP9 actually paid itself off because it got 2 kills. In fact, 3 kills. So yeah, $600 a piece. You're looking at $1,800 made in that round from those kills from that MP9 from Faz. So he can buy himself an M4 into this one, no problems at all. Connor's actually going to go for a bonus round, which is rather ambitious, but on a map like Inferno, real close quarters, it can absolutely be done. Faz finds that opening frag, does get traded, but in the meantime, Elusive getting aggressive, does get punished by Femris. A good read on the situation from him. Means they are starting to eye up B. A little more than A. That smoke going to secure that further. And if they do go for it, they're only faced against Keeney, who's actually playing deep CT, which is quite bizarre to play as an anchor, because you rarely play retake B. But then, if you're if you're in deep CT, you're playing retake B, because the CT smoke's just standard. He's actually going for the gamble rotate over towards A, and that's 100% the wrong call. It's only Fenris here, just trying to do some damage, make some kind of convincing fake. Hero foolishly goes for a knife. Don't know why, gets punished for it. And Keeney now, left to pick up the pieces. A 4 versus 1 does convert the first, but takes a lot of damage in the process. Means that, yeah, he more than likely just grabs that AK. Could have grabbed the Molotov there as well, but didn't. He falls right back with it. RLC aren't going to allow him to save for now. Not looking like they're too eager to hunt. They haven't got much money in the bank, and they don't want to be wasting it. So definitely a smart call from them. Does mean that Keeney can bring this AK into the next, though, and the Infantry, with a 3-round lead, have got plenty of bank built up. Taking 100% buy into this next round with ease. He's even found himself a kit. He's well happy. Look at him. He's wiggling his mouse about. He's found a kit. Yippee! I've now got a kit. RLC, they put their first round on the board. Let's see if they can keep it up. String together a few more. Keep this one competitive. The Infantry bounce right back. Full buy round. Could have gone for an AWP, but they chose not to. So maybe shows a little bit about their playstyle. Maybe shows a little bit about the lack of confidence on that scoped rifle on this side. It's not something we saw all too much on Overpass either. They did tend to opt for those rifles more often than not. And an early kill coming through the smoke from Connor means that the Infantry put themselves in a nice little favourable position to take this round. The man advantage, the smart play as well to fall off of Banana, not contest that control any further. Go for the early boost. Davis, though, doing some work on this fake. It's not going to really be confusing anyone, though. It's, yeah, certainly not falling Hero. He's going to come in from the coffins, find himself 2, in fact. I thought he died there, but no. Gets himself both. It's Davies and Pom Pom last alive in this 2v4. They're not so much locked in Banana. They could actually just fall right back and go to A. Connor and Elusive playing very passive on A. They're just holding these bomb sites. They don't want to try and contest this one at all, except Hero going for an ambitious peek. Gets punished by Pom Pom. And off the back of that, they're actually going to rotate to A, because this is very smart. They've pulled the rotation off of Connor. Now they've only got to deal with Elusive, and despite the fact that, well, the numbers certainly weren't in their favour and it was a 2-on-4, they've now brought it into a 2-on-1 situation on the A bomb site in their favour. The issue is Davis has completely ignored the fact that there could be a player in mini pit. Left Pom Pom in a real difficult situation. He's got to get a 4K. Pluck this one out in the 2 versus 1. He looks completely the wrong way, and Connor comes out on top. Really a recurring theme in these two maps is that these players go for so many gamble plays. So when you look at high caliber Counter-Strike, you see that players in that situation don't go for some crazy gamble peek there where they peek mid and they're exposed to boiler and they're exposed to long and they're potentially even exposed to a short wraparound in that situation. They'll tend to play something where they'll get themselves into an area where they can't be flanked. They'll get themselves into apartments or play some kind of angle like that, or actually get aggressive and try and isolate one of those fights. But instead, yeah, we've seen so many times where these players just end up being caught with their pants down. Certainly what we've seen early on in this one. 3 kills coming out from the AWPs early on. I'd say being denied at the door, but they haven't even got onto the driveway. The RLC miles away from any action, but the long-ranged rifles really just making easy work of them. Not sure what the purpose of that flash was. They are going to peek off of it, though. That's exactly what the purpose of it was. Connor comes out on top. That was a funky one. I've never really seen a flash come in from brackets going into second mid and for them to get as aggressive as that, but they had the confidence, they had 5 men alive, and they wanted to get aggressive, get that round over and done with. Certainly can't blame them as we go into round number 7. They're sitting 5-1 right now. Full guns all round, plenty of money in the bank, the double AWP set up as well. They are just against Tech 9 by of the RLC. Be interested to see whose map pick this is. I'm not too sure, but if it's the RLCs, they're Well, they're not doing all too well on it. Jack, just with this Tech 9, a 1 versus 4. Ooh. Lands himself a cheeky headshot with the Tech 9. Blocking out the second. Can't convert it though. Swings a little bit too wide and Hero capitalises. 6-1 the Infantry set. Round number 8. Plenty of money in the bank for the T side. They should be able to buy up into this one. Going to do exactly that. 4 AKs. Utility on everyone. Except for Pom Pom. He's the man with the AWP. Going to go dry with it. Seeing much of the same on the CT side, but this time the double AWP setup. We saw it last round. It worked out really well for them. Pom Pom, that's a little bit ambitious. I don't even think at top level they hit that kind of angle. That is a very, very tight angle to be holding. Here's Fenris to find the first nonetheless. Gets tagged down to 10 HP. But he is alive, and they've got the man advantage. Can play the numbers game off of it. Elusive, this a little bit more like it. Slightly wider angle. It's looking like they jiggle. Elusive should be able to hit this shot. Oh my goodness, Salamander. That was crispy. I like that. That was a very, very nice shot to take out Elusive. Very well played from him. Brings things into a 5-on-3, but his Hero lands himself a nice headshot with the AWP. It allows Keeney to get back onto this site. A fantastic smoke from the CT side. Means that that frag was completely untradeable. What they've got to be wary of right now, though, is Fenris in the back lines. Obviously, the rotations should be coming in at this point. And well, the RLC somehow have pulled this one off. I'm not really sure why the Infantry didn't rotate another player over towards B when the aggression was there. They kind of went for some gamble call in anticipation of RLC faking and going back to A. Maybe not the best call in hindsight, especially as Fenris, only on 10 HP, lands a nice headshot onto Connor, and the RLC put their second round on the board. Quite a smart play, quite a lot of control gain from Fenris in that situation as well. I like the fact that not only is he the man putting up the numbers in this game, but I've seen a lot of initiative from him, not just in this map, but a little bit on Overpass as well. And this is exactly what I was talking about before. There was so much money on this side. Elusive could have dropped, Connor could have dropped, Keeney could have bought himself a rifle. Instead, 3 players on a full investment, 2 players with plenty of money left in the bank, and they've got an M4, an AWP, 2 scouts, and an MP5 to work with. But actually, Connor just could have dropped an M4, Keeney could have bought himself an M4, and then they would have had 3 M4s and an AWP, and 1 player potentially on something a little bit lower. But instead, this is just a really bad buy for no reason. Either way, it somehow is working out for them somewhat. They've got the man advantage. They've retained the control as well. Just really bizarre to see situations like this, because even if they lose this round, it's not like there's some contingency plan in place where by keeping Connor on 4k and Keeney on 2k, they can then buy into the next. They'll just have 3 players with no money and 2 players that can afford to buy. It would just be unbalanced and just quite stupid. Either way, Jack walking into brackets by himself. Can't flick in 2 places at once, gets completely punished for it. Fenris very, very late on that trade as, well, Jack went in way before his teammates could. Leave Salamander all alone. A 1v4, just an AWP as well. Best call here is to save it, but he has no map control whatsoever, and I don't think he knows where he can go and save it. As Connor creeps up into the apartment, should get the sight line on second mid, be able to take him out in due time. For now, though, Salamander just going for the standing still save play. Did he see or something? I don't know. Maybe we get a tech pause come in now. If we don't, and he's just here, then that was very bizarre. Okay, no tech pause, but he's not brought up. I think he's not here. He's not here, but we're going on with it anyway. Now he's here. He's back. He went to go get a biscuit whilst he was in a 4v1 or something. I don't know. Either way, Fenris finds the first onto Elusive. And you want to pull this one back. And try and close this 5-round gap that's been established early on. They've definitely got something to work with here because, there's a 3 sniper setup. And I think potentially there was a 4th on Elusive. I actually can't remember what he had, but 3 snipers set up, and they're all over towards the B site. So they've managed to cross whilst all the snipers have missed their shots. And it's Jack that can find himself the first as well. That's Hero gone. And, well, that's the issue. That's the issue with having a scout in that situation. You have to then pull out your pistol, and a fight where you should just be winning that all day long, you can't. Because you spam away with the USP, they turn around, just punish you for it. Another really stupid investment from the Infantry. And again, you've got players, they had 2 guys with scouts this round, but every player's sitting on 2.5k. So, for the money of the scout, they could have had M4s, and this could have been a proper buy round. I really don't know what they're doing. Either way, Faz is cleaning up with this AWP. Obviously no round win, but 3 kills for him isn't all too bad. It would have been smart to go for the save call. I don't know why he didn't fall back and save, but he did some economical damage, and actually that plays a fair impact on this one, as the RLC haven't got a lot of money in the bank to work with, so that reinvestment is going to be costly for them. Now, well, Connor's full bought because he's got 8k, and everyone else is sitting on the 2k mark. So we got a Nova, an MP7, a couple of PT50s. This is very odd. This is not your average game of Counter-Strike. That's why you're here watching the Lions League, because you want something a little bit different, a little bit funky, perhaps. We love it. We love it. This is what we're here for. So Connor, the only one with a real weapon in this situation, has to go for the peak. Only finds himself 1 before he gets taken down. Hero does nab it, but he's got no Kevlar to work with. So as soon as he gets a bullet in him, his crosshair's going to be aiming right at the clouds, and he's going to struggle. Elusive tries to take a long fight with the Nova. A little bit too late to the action, does get taken out by Pom Pom. Hero now, last alive, 1 versus 3, he is going for it, but they're just not playing off of each other at all. They know that Pom Pom is on new box with an AWP, and they're not double peeking, they're not trying to use any of the utility, they're not trying to trade off of each other, they just peek him 1 by 1 and allow the AWP to get the first, get behind back into cover, pull back the bolt, peek again, get the second. Very, very sloppy stuff on that retake, and it just costed them rifles that it didn't need to. This round, it is the full investment for them. Faz is actually forced down to the scout. It's not a scout by choice that we've seen several times this game for some reason. In hands of the right player, the scout can be a really powerful weapon, but it's not something that you normally buy unless you have to, and it's also not something that in these players' hands they seem to be doing a whole lot with. Faz just about to prove me wrong, I'm sure. Nope, he does get taken down. A 2-man advantage now for the RLC. Elusive, he's got himself a nice angle, but that smoke's going to make things all a bit harder. Does find the first one to Jack, the second on the player falling as well. I think that was a team flash. That was well, not what you want to be doing in a situation like that. 2-man advantage, and you basically just throw it away. Salamander on 2 HP. Oh my goodness, that's actually Ferrari peak, that angle. Somehow lands that headshot. Very nice stuff from him. And what on earth is going on? How did he know Keeney was there? That was... He's seriously going for some funky pre-fires right now. Maybe it's just because he's on 2 HP and he's just like, I have to pre-fire these angles, otherwise... I don't know. Otherwise I die. It makes sense. You just seem to get it quite right in those scenarios. So Keeney grabs himself an M4, falls right back and saves, but the RLC put themselves onto 5. So a game that, well, pre-match I was told this should be a pretty clean-cut one for Infantry, actually ends up being quite close. We saw, what, a 16-13 scoreline in the first map. As we go into the second, it's 7-5 right now. It's definitely shaping up to be a close one. Definitely potential for a third map as well. Just have to wait and see. Again... Oh no, okay, so Keeney saved that rifle, that makes sense. No one's really brought around it, which is fair enough. They are just going for the effective eco, the buy in the next, but somehow Hero come out on top with the USP. grab himself an AK. Connor trying to get aggressive as well. It doesn't quite work out for them. Their man advantage now becomes a 4-on-2 in the enemy's favour. They've completely given up the A site in the process as well. So no real chance for them to take this round unless something crazy happens. Pom Pom is very low, so there's chance of killing him, finding an AWP. That would be huge if they could take that into the next round. That's certainly something they won't be able to afford. Elusive. Ooh, one bullet there would have taken out Pom Pom, but he can't quite do it. His teammates fall around him as well, and the RLC put themselves within a 1-round gap. 7-6 right now. The Infantry, despite their early lead, they've somewhat thrown it away. Now sitting in a situation where even if they win the next two, it's still a pretty decent half from RLC. T-side Inferno. A lot of nade damage being done early on to Jack there. Down to 26 already. That's what happens when you aggress into Banana early on, but actually don't take the fights and you just kind of sit there waiting for the nades to just bombard onto you. It can be really, really costly. And as Hero, well, very nice aggressive peek there to finish him off. Level things back out into a 4-on-4. Not a single point of damage being dealt on any of the other CT players too, so they can really capitalise on the fact they've done plenty of damage on Banana. Oh, a nice headshot from Keeney as well. We saw a nice one earlier from Faz that, well, I didn't call out. They're all just falling one by one. This is the same as what we've been seeing earlier on in the game. They had a little burst of energy where they were playing together and actually making rounds work, and now we're just back to RLC old ways. They're back within a round, and they're just back to throwing them away again. Peak and angle, one by one, no trade potential whatsoever. Each player just kind of dying 10, 15 seconds after the other. Very, very solo Counter-Strike right now, and it's not only not working out for this team, but it doesn't work out for any team. It just doesn't work when you try and play solo Counter-Strike unless you have some crazy hard carry on your side. It will never ever work out for you, and well, Connor running through the flames to find that kill. Knew that Pom Pom had no time left, and he had to go for the plant, and does capitalise on that one. The Infantry put themselves onto 8 now. Potential for them to close it out 9-6, but they are going to have to face up against another bye round. Salamander, is there a gun on the floor for him? Yes, there is. Okay, so a full bye round. AKs and an SG, an AWP. Plenty of tools to work with for the RLC to convert this one, and if they can do, they'll have an 8-7 half on their hands, which isn't too bad at all, but Hero's really trying to deny that, and well, Pom Pom's kind of just ignoring the fact that Banana's even open and there could be someone on car, so he gets taken down. 5 versus 4 now as Faz spamming through the smoke trying to find himself something else. The flash goes over, they're actually going to go for the peak. They want to try and take this mid control, because if they can do so, then they can really lock these players in. Hero has all the info. There's at least 2 guys here, down on T-ramp. And he's just spamming through the smoke, keeping them occupied. Allows his teammates to get into these aggressive positions. Jack levels things back out into a 1-on-1 though. They are actually going to head over towards short, but such a smart angle from Faz. I really like that. Sitting behind the smoke, playing it perfectly. Keeney only able to find 1, brings things back into a 2-on-2. The bomb is going to go down as well for the RLC, so an absolutely doable one for them, but Hero completely shuts it down, finds himself a 3k, and it's all really said and done for this half. The Infantry pull it back right at the end, and in really, really dominating fashion as well. They seem to have some rounds where they're massively ahead. They're just on top every single round. They're keeping several players alive. They're just in control of the entire map and the entire round. And then they have like this little burst where the RLC come in and they just sort of bombard a couple. And then it goes right back the other way. Infantry definitely looking like the stronger side in this one. And if they can convert the pistol round, I think they should be able to close out the game. It's important for the RLC to win the pistol round if they want a chance of taking this one to the 3rd map. And there we go, it's that music again. It's that funky, like... Is this the Halo music kit? That might be what it is. Or the... I'm not sure. Maybe it's one of the new music kits. Yeah, it's the Halo music kit. Okay, that's kind of fun. Gives you oldies some real nostalgia vibes. Well, we're seeing a very bizarre investment from the Infantry going into pistol round. 2 players with the Kevlar, 3 with grenades. If they go for this nade stack right now, it could do some damage, but it doesn't really. That now puts them at a major deficit. When you've got no Kevlar, those Glocks can be absolutely lethal. But Davis, ooh, that was a bit cheeky. He finds himself 3. Very, very nice 3-piece for him to find. Leaves Connor all alone. A 1 versus 4. And oh, he actually converts himself a 4 for the round. Davies, single-handedly, not only doubling his frags in a single round, but actually putting that all-important pistol round in his team's favour. And as I was saying before, that's a really, really important round for the RLC to win. That was really their chance of getting back into this one, as they should be able to clean this one up with ease. They're just up against the Glocks. They put themselves 9-8, and, well, it's competitive again. Just got to make sure they don't get taken out by these Glocks. Those nades obviously doing a lot of early damage to Pom Pom. They have got 3 players playing on the B site, but they're playing really deep, which gives the Infantry an opportunity to get real aggressive here and overwhelm them with these Glocks. They might be able to do exactly that as they're charging in, but Davies on this boost, set up perfectly to find himself some more kills, as Connor, though, finds himself the first. Davies now position known, but 2 of them have just gone in with their backs turned. What on earth are they doing? Davies has found himself another 3k. He should be able to find a 4th. That's 2 4ks in a row from him. The pistol round one was very impressive. That one, he was basically just killing players that were a bit clueless. They knew there was a player boosted up on CT, and in that scenario, you just swing with 2 or 3 of you. You just try and convert that frag, but instead, 2 players ran in with their backs turned, and, well, of course he capitalizes on it every day of the week. So he puts himself onto 12, now one of the higher fraggers on the RLC side. And it's a bye round that they have to contest here. They can win this one. They actually put themselves level pegging. So they find 2 early frags. They take a lot of damage though, and as Elusive finishes off Pom Pom, Fenris is sitting on 7 HP right now. Oh, Jack, trying to get aggressive, gets punished for it as well. Despite the early 2-man advantage, they're still getting aggressive for some reason. And they get a couple of players picked off for it, find themselves in a 3-on-3, and now this situation isn't all too favourable for them. I don't really understand this again. When you've got that 2-man advantage, you just play defensive, you fall back to the sites, you play the numbers game. Instead, you have a player getting aggressive in the apartments, then you have a player getting aggressive as well over towards, what was it? Towards Banana, pushing all the way through, trying to get behind. I didn't get it. Maybe it's being kill hungry, maybe it's just a misread of the situation, I don't know. But either way, it might just cost them this round. The Infantry, they've got 30 seconds left on the clock. They need to make a call on what site they're going to go to, and it's looking like it's going to be the A site. Only 1 player here for now. They need to find him. And he's tucked into the corner. Connor finds the first. It's Fenris, and he was only sitting on 7 HP. So not really much of an A anchor there to work with. As Connor finds the second onto Salamander. Leaves Davis in a 1-on-3 situation. And bearing in mind, this was a 5-on-3. This has gone horribly wrong for the RLC. The Infantry will be able to put themselves onto double digits, as Davies looking like he's going to go for that early save call. Wants to bring that M4 into the next round. Drop it over to one of those players that hasn't got a lot of money in the bank, and they might be able to buy up in the next, somewhat. Salamander could buy a scout, maybe. This M4 could go over towards Jack or Fenris, and then Davies and Pom Pom could buy up. That could actually work as a buy round. They will have the minimum loss bonus, of course, though, so they might not go for it at all. Well, it's looking like it's going to be the latter. Davis just the man with the M4, everyone else on the eco. couple of pistols being dropped, but it's that really messy matchmaking scenario where someone's not been dropped a pistol, and I don't know. Quite bizarre. It means they're quite late to banana, and it means that the infantry can run all the way up banana, completely uncontested. They don't have to take a fight until they get to CT, and well, in that case, they just completely shut it down. 4 players on the B site. Connor takes care of them. Faz got himself... Again, this is quite bizarre. They're on a buy round in the next anyway, and this was a very, very doable clutch. He had loads of time, and he's not gone for it. So he's going for the exits instead. Might be able to get himself something. Quite bizarre that he's gone for that eco, though. He is actually able to find both kills. A decent amount of money in the bank of the infantry. They will just be able to reinvest. The AK gets dropped over to Jack. Fenris buys up an M4. Not sure whose call that was to save, but not something I would have gone for. They're now trailing by 3. Decent opportunity to take this one, though, as the infantry have opted on utility on a couple of these players with the lower weapons. Instead of just going for that AK Kevlar, Faz able to find the first onto Pom Pom. Gives them a man advantage as they're actually just continuing to charge onto this A site. They try to swarm Davis in pit here. It takes 3 men to take him out, though. As Connor's the one to finally do the work. Brings it into a 3-on-3, but the retake's already here. Salamander finds the first. Fenris falls on short, though. He was the pincer. And as he falls, Salamander needs to get something done because Jack is miles away. Still hasn't managed to rotate over from B, despite the fact that the call must have come in that they were a good 30-40 seconds ago. I don't know why it's taken him so long to rotate. But either way, as his teammate falls, he now sits on 4 HP, and he's sitting on borrowed time. Faz takes him out, finds himself 4 that round. A big round for Faz. Infantry sitting on 12 now, 4 away from number 16, and 4 away from their opponent. So, quite a nice situation for them to be in. Real good opportunity for them to close this game out. Close the series out, in fact. They're just getting really aggressive. They've actually realised that this really fast-paced Counter-Strike just works for them. I'm not sure what Elusive was doing there. He does get punished for it, but either way, Connor comes in and picks up the pieces, as he has done a few rounds this game, actually. A really, really strong aimer. Converts those frags over and over again. Sits 23-10 right now. Really dominant performance from Connor. We haven't seen a whole lot from Elusive. I would have marked Elusive as one of the strongest players on this side, but this game sitting 8-16. Certainly not his strongest performance. As Pom Pom, last alive with the USP. Let's try and find himself something. Might be able to take Connor. He actually does. Lands himself a nice little double dink. Gets an AK, and he's going to go for this one. Would have liked to have seen some of the players go for these kind of plays earlier on. But with no kit, he really hasn't got the time for this one. The messed up Molotov as well. Yeah, Genie. Easy pickings. They had the post plants in that situation, and they were always going to come out on top. So, the infantry now put themselves 13-8. Round number 22. It needs to be a turning point for the RLC, because if they lose it, their opponents go 1 away from match point. They've got no money in the bank. They have to force into it, and then, well, you're contesting the match point just with pistols, maybe a couple of SMGs, so not the position you want to be in whatsoever. Set 35, still not for much longer though. Hero gets the drop onto Salamander. It is traded by Davis, but a lot of damage dealt. Again, really should have been a scenario where Davis was watching the apartments there. Maybe just the timing caught him out and he was looking over at short instead. Either way, Elusive actually finishes him off with the fire. That gives them the A site to walk straight onto. There are 2 players there, but they're over on long. So, one smoke goes up and those players are deemed redundant. Connor, though, hungry for the frags, finds himself the first. Pom Pom trying to get a gap in the smoke. Does actually find it, but traded by Connor. And Jack left in a 1v3. As he comes in from archers, and oh, he does actually get the drop. Nice little pre-fire onto Connor there. Brings it into another 2-on-1. This one, again, is a doable situation. Still no kit though. Why do none of these players buy kits? A lot of them, a lot of the time, have enough money to, and they just don't buy a defuse kit. And now in a situation like this, that it's very doable, but he hasn't really got the time for it. So 1 versus 1, he is forced to fall right back, take that AK into the next. But the infantry now put themselves onto 14. They take the AWP into the next round, and there's very little to work with for the RLC going into round number 23. And they're going to have to force up here. Yeah, a couple of SMGs. Scout on Pom-Pom. Salamander even going to buy here? Yeah, okay, he just bought super late. Full util, a 5.7. That's not the sort of weaponry you want to be working with to contest this match point situation. Or not quite match point, one away from match point. Jack unable to do a whole lot with that single rifle that they had. They're just getting picked off here. Salamander does make his position known, but he finds himself a kill in the process. The rifle completely unretrievable though. And Fenris, well, that aggressive stance on mid doesn't pay off for him at all. It gets predicted by Hero. He gets spotted out, taken down. 4 versus 2 now, Davis and Salamander. And again, if they can't convert this round, no money left in the bank, and Infantry will be on 15. And it's looking like that's very much going to be the case. Salamander, a 1 versus 4. Would be smart to save this AK. But I think by doing so, you're effectively delaying the inevitable, and, well, he's not able to save it anyway. Connor's already on the hunt. I think Elusive was there to back him up as well, so the Infantry now sit on match point, 15-8. A very, very dominant second map. After, well, in fact, a very dominant second half. After we saw the first half, it was actually quite close, and I was thinking to myself, do you know what? They could do this. The RLC could take this second map. We could go to a third, even if they keep this map competitive like they did on Overpass. But I haven't been able to do that at all. Faz actually finds the AWP shot through his teammate. In fact, it was Elusive that found the AWP shot through his teammate. Give them that man advantage. The boost comes up on Banana, and they seem to be quite unaware of it. He has dropped by now, though, so no trade potential there, but they've still got the man advantage. Pom-Pom, I'm not really sure on his position, because he's the man with the scout, so he should be taking those early engagements, the long-range ones. Instead, he's pushed into apartments with his P250 out. I don't know. You might as well just buy a P250 when you're in that situation, but at least they'll be able to use the scout on the retake. Salamander just about to be overwhelmed by 4, and he's aware that there's one coming in from Church, but, well, he's looking the wrong way when Faz peeks, and last alive it's Pom-Pom. Does find himself 1 with that scout. 3 more to find, though, to keep his team in this one. He does actually convert the second as well. Maybe the investment's somewhat worthwhile, but still a 2 versus 1, a scout in hand. He is going to swap it out for an AK now. A very doable clutch. Plenty of time on the clock, but even in the last round, no kit, and he gets taken out by Connor. The Infantry put themselves 16-8, a 2-0 series, a relatively quick one today. And a very, very nice performance from them. We saw some good stuff. We've seen some good stuff from them previously, and I'm excited to see what they can do in future weeks of the Lions League. Unfortunate stuff for the RLC. They really kept it competitive on Overpass. There was a lot of mistakes on Overpass, and I feel that they were ironed out a little bit on Inferno. But 16-13 going in the favour of the Infantry on Inferno, and then a dominant 16-8. No, sorry, on Overpass, and a dominant 16-8 on Inferno. So that's all from us tonight. The Infantry taking this week's win, and well, we'll see you this time next Tuesday for more Lions League action. Thank you for everybody still watching. Thank you for continuing to watch throughout the week. So make sure you follow us on our socials and all of that. They're all down below in the Twitch panels. Good night, everybody.